I apologize. I'm 6 minutes late, but I'm here. Good morning. Hope you all are doing well today. It's Dr. Thomas Richard Easley, and I'm doing time with the doc, and welcome you this morning. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling fresh and feeling alive. And today is November 5th, 2017. We are now in the month of November. Remember when we were in the month of January, and look at us now. We're in the month of November. The year's coming to, going to be winding down and moving on to the next thing. So today, what I figured I would do is I would continue our discussion here again around religion, faith, and spirituality. So for the last couple of weeks, last couple of sessions, I should say, we talked a lot about religion. And we examined that religion does provide some good things, right? Religion gives structure. Religion gives format. Religion gives order. It gives instruction. It gives us something to follow. It gives us something it gives us like a blueprint. It gives us something to look at and to give us a guide through various steps in our life. Okay, various steps. Faith, in my opinion, I think for most of us, starts with our religious background. So you learn to believe based on a certain religious structure, right? So I believe that, so growing up as a person of the Christian faith, I learned that I should have faith in Jesus. Okay. Good morning. Welcome. I've learned that I should have faith in Jesus. If you practice a different religion, you have faith in, like if we were saying this was Islam, you have faith in Allah. If you were Buddhist, it would be having faith in Buddha. If you were Baha'i, so the more religions that I bring up and that I talk about, you'll notice that it's always about having faith in something. Okay, having faith in something. However, I believe that there's another thing that you learn as you continue to live that you have faith in, right? So it's one thing to have faith in a figure or an authority or an individual. Then you're also told to have faith in a desire or in something that you want, right? Because for you to have faith, that means you have to also want something, right? So you have to believe that you'll get it. Like some people have faith in having a relationship in the future. Some people have faith that, working at a university, I go to school, when I finish, I'm going to get a job. To have faith, I have to believe, basically I have to target something. I have faith in that something will happen, and I have faith in this thing or this person that this over here will happen. And usually what ends up, and so then what secures your faith? What starts to secure your faith is when the thing that you want happens, right? But what grows your faith? See, it's one thing to secure, okay, I'm going to believe in Jesus because I was raised to believe in Jesus. However, then something happens in life. Like I remember a couple of years back, this is more than eight years ago, I believe now. I had it's about 7 years ago. I had a situation where I was without a car. And those, if you know me well and been friends with me since probably since 2007, then you know this story. So my car had broken down and I needed a vehicle. I have no family in the state of North Carolina where I reside and work. So I don't have people that I can necessarily call on to bail me out of trouble when I get in trouble. Right. And then I do have both my parents. I'm blessed to still have them, but they were not at that time in a financial situation where they could even, where they could even help me. Like they couldn't even really send me money. So either A, I couldn't get my car fixed and I couldn't get a new car. So where does that leave me, right? So now I'm stuck, struggling, sad, in some ways embarrassed, feeling ashamed because here I am, a working person who doesn't have an operating vehicle, and I don't know how to fix the situation, right? Now, let's say where I was the first time that this happened in my faith, in my religion, I would say I was a babe in Christ, right? I was a babe in Christ. So here I have a situation going on. I need a car. And then I pray and I go, okay, let me pray for the car. Okay, God, I want the car. Please give me a car. And so when you're a babe, I think that you think that you say something and then you get it, right? I think that throughout our life, we're babes in various areas of our life. So we're on milk, and then in other parts of our life, we're probably the mature Christians. So we're on meat. You get on meat based on the experiences that you go through, and then as you learn, you figure out, oh, that's what it was, that's what it meant. Okay, so the first time I was without a car, I needed a new car, and I had no idea how I was going to get a car. Okay, lo and behold, what ended up happening the first time I was without a car and this is when I was we had a men's group at my church, at my home church, Poplar Springs, and I would go. And, we would share what's going on with us, and we would encourage one another. So I go to our meeting this one night, and I expressed that I needed, I got a ride to the meeting, and I expressed that I needed help with the car. Who knows, right? Now, I'm at a black church, and let's say something about blackness. I want to be clear with you about something, but I think that this cuts across all groups. As a black person, like if you grow up in an area or in a life where you're always broke and you poor, then I think that even when you are still with what reminds you of that environment, I think it's hard for you to believe that you can get what you need in that environment. So at first, my boy, matter of fact, he came and cleaned my carpet the other day. I served on the deacon board with him. It was him who brought me to church. He was like, tell the guys at church, maybe there's something there at the church that you need. Watch this. There were 3 homeless brothers who were coming to the group, right? 3 homeless brothers. One of them was an outstanding mechanic. I'm talking about really smart. Okay. And you could down anybody that you see and don't believe that they should look like you think that they should believe. I mean, like be who they are or do what they can do. But because I was at the church, I had another friend, his name is Al, who picked me up, who worked with the guys. I just said, okay, well, if this brother can do something, let him do it, I'll say it. He said, I can help you with your car. Now, at first, I can tell you, I wanted a new car. Matter of fact, I have wanted a new car at the time, I probably wanted a new car since 2003, 2004, because I never had a new car in my life anyway, right? And so I wanted a new car. I can tell you this now. If I had have gotten that new car, I would not have taken care of my current vehicle the way that I am now if I hadn't have gone through what I went through, okay? So this is what the brothers did, the guys who were homeless. They fixed my car. And because I'm humble, I was so thankful. They put a new engine in my car. Now, there were some lessons that I learned when that happened with the car the first time. They put a new engine in my car. And they let me know that this is not a permanent fix. Okay, because I had a Dodge Stratus at the time, and Stratuses are known for having poor head gasket issues. If you have a bad head gasket, you might as well go on and get a new car because that's your engine. Like, that's it. And eventually I was going to have to get a new one, but I didn't know how long the car was going to last me. But the fact that I didn't have money to get a new car, I didn't have money to get it fixed. So I thought, I go to a place that's unexpected. Some brothers who were unsuspecting or non-remarkable offer to help fix my car. I give them an opportunity. And around the time that they did it, it was when I was going to be getting my taxes back. So I would have the money to pay for an engine. So I was able to give them money for the engine. I didn't even see, that's the thing. I didn't even know that you could do this, right? And so they go and they get the engine, and they, you know, like they don't have a place to stay. So they're actually in my driveway, fixing my car in my driveway. And it took them, you know, so the other thing that I learned in this, see, like a lot of times when you're going through challenges, right, you learn a number of lessons. So first lesson I learned, nothing's permanent. Well, except for death. Okay. Then the next thing I learned is don't judge a book by its cover, because you never know who can help you or what can fix the problem. Then number 3, I learned patience, because they were supposed to, let's say they were supposed to be done by April 1, and they really couldn't finish until April 15th. So me being without a car was even longer, right? So I'm ready to get my car. I'm ready to drive it again, because right now what I've been doing is I've been getting rides from people here and there for like over 6 weeks. And, you know, sometimes when people are helping you, you start to feel guilty. You start getting tired of it. But it's good to have people who are real friends who will help you. The people who help me, nobody wanted to pay me for anything, not even gas. I would offer it and they wouldn't take it. So that taught me about really being generous. Like there are people in this world who are generous, who would give you things and they don't want anything in return. So now I learned about that, but that patience was really big. And when they weren't ready, thank God I didn't lose my head when they didn't finish the car the first time. Because I was like, okay, then I'll figure something out. Because at the time, the person who was giving me a ride moved away to the other side of town. So it wasn't going to be feasible for them to give me a ride. So I had to figure something else out. My close friend, brother, David, I'm going to just say David, I call him D, reached out to me, asked me how things were going with the car. His wife was getting ready to go out of town, out of the country for 2 weeks. They have 2 cars. He said, hey, T, I'll just lend you my car. No problem. I just, you can just use my car. So she was gone. He had a car, and he let me use the car for 2 weeks. So now I have a car, right? And then when my car was ready, I showed up, I picked up my car, I was able to drive it around, and then my car lasted for another year. So here again, you remember what I said I learned? I learned patience. I learned that everything's not permanent. Okay. I learned a lot of new things too. I learned not to judge a book by its cover, and I learned people are generous. So when it was time for me to go through vehicular problems again, because I went through vehicular problems again a year later. The first time I went through vehicular problems, I lost my cool. I was mad at God. Man, what's going on? Why is this happening to me? Now realizing that the car that I had in the first place wasn't even meant to be permanent for real. You see? So when the car broke down again, I didn't lose my cool. I didn't lose myself. It broke down again, and this time I was more peaceful about it. And so the good thing was I didn't lose my head. Matter of fact, and when the car broke down, it broke down on the main street, traffic and everything, and I still didn't lose my head. It was inconvenient. I wasn't happy, but I wasn't mad at God. So I wasn't upset at God this time. I was like, okay, God, if you can give me a new engine and give me something that I can afford at a time when I didn't think I could afford it and didn't think that this could work out, I really wonder how you're going to fix it this time. Right? So the second time, and I still remember because it happened when, what was out at the time? There was a movie that was out and there was a lot of drama around it. Somebody had died and everything. The Dark Knight Rises. I remember that because a man killed people in the theater, went in and thought he was the Joker, mentally ill person. So I remember the week because that movie came out on that weekend and I was waiting for that film. And I ended up going and getting a rental car and going and enjoying the weekend. And this time I did again what I did the last time. I said, let me let people at the church know. This time I did it quicker. That I'm going to be in need of something, not really sure how to fix it, but I know that my car is kaput, it's out. Like my car was done. There's nothing else to fix in that car. Now you know. And then there was another person in the male group, and he had a brother that worked at a dealership. And this was one of our ministers at the church. And he was like, hey, call my brother. Maybe he can help you out. And I ended up being able to get a car flat out, pay for it and everything. Now time has changed. Now that this happened, you also learn not to take things for granted. So I started putting money aside just in case something like this came up so I'd be able to handle it. I knew this time that there's no such thing as a quick fix usually. No such thing as a quick fix. And I figured that I would be in a pattern of waiting, but I can handle it because I just did it for like more than 2 months the year before, when I was waiting on my car, to get fixed. And instead I got something better. I got a brand new car. I just wanted the car that ran and didn't have any problems. I got a car that I can start from outside of the vehicle. I can hook my smartphone up to the car and talk to the car, CD player, and I can play my music through my technology and automatic everything, machine everything. And I can tell you this right now, and since I have my car, I've not had a problem in the car. I went 8 straight years of problem every month in the car, and now I've had a car now for over 5 and have had no issues, none whatsoever. So I can say now my faith grew, but also the thing that also feeds the faith, and I can say this, is the information that comes behind it. See? So like, for example, I'll tell you right now, like today in church at Peace, we're going to be talking about give it to God. What does that mean? So I'm going to be explaining to them what does it mean to actually give something over to God? What does it mean to be by yourself when you're struggling? What I'm talking to you about today is faith. What does it mean to practice faith and walk in your faith? The thing about faith that's so important is that as you are believing and hoping in something, the thing that strengthens it is the knowledge behind it, the knowledge that's a part of it, the knowledge that lets you know that something is going to work out because you've been through something before. So then the more things happen because you've been through it, the more you can lean on faith because you've been in experiences or you've been in situations where you didn't have what you needed, but you got what you needed. People weren't there to help you, but then someone else ended up coming there. A situation that looked like it was going to work out, and then lo and behold, somehow, some way it works out. And in a lot of cases, it works out and you have more than what you asked for. Right. So then it becomes easier to walk in faith because of other things that you learn throughout life that were not covered in the book of faith that you probably worship. And in this case, in my case, I would say is the Bible. So this is an intro to how does faith, to how does faith work, right? A lot of us learn about faith through religious practices, and then we get to a part in our life where faith ends up taking over where religion can't go. You see, so a lot of times that's really what happens is religion gets you to a certain point and then faith takes you to another level. You see, so faith is when you're believing in something, you can't see it, but you're believing that it's going to happen and that it's coming. If you're not part of a faith community and you don't really believe in this, it may sound crazy to believe that something is going to come when it doesn't look like something is coming. But when you've lived a life and you've had experiences and opportunities and challenges that you've overcome or that, as we say, you've been delivered from, your faith gets stronger and it gets more powerful. Now, here's the thing about faith that's really important. The thing about faith a lot of times is sometimes it's not even logical to have faith. That's why it's hard to explain to people. So sometimes that's why I tell people I don't really kill myself. And when I say kill myself, I mean burden myself, wear myself out, trying to convince people to believe what I believe. Right? Because what I'm proud to say is a lot of what I've had to learn throughout my life came from my own experiences. And most times that's really how people's faith gets strengthened and becomes tightened is you have to go through something. And then when you go through it, you come out on the other side. I often find when I talk to people, especially about religion and people who don't believe, is that they kind of tell me exactly what I need to know in order for me to get where I'm trying to go. And I'm like, that's not how this life works. See? So I think that people will probably be able to handle life better if they were shown some of the nuances that come along with life and how faith will help you get through. But what I notice is a lot of times we're not taught that. We learn that as we go. And so that's why most of us become more mature believers or Christians or mature humans, period, when we are an adult, when we're later in life, like 30 and 40. After you've been through heartbreak, after you've been through heartache, after you've been through having no money and then coming into it, having maybe some things cut off and then figuring it out and then getting things turned back on, thinking that you couldn't make it through something and now you're here. And so what ends up happening is if you're a person, who is not a believer, if you're a person who has challenged religion and faith, it's probably going to be hard for you to walk in faith. Even though you've had signs around you the whole time, things showing you that God is real or that you're not alone and someone is with you. So if you don't know how to cultivate that or recognize it because you've been resisting it, right? It's going to be hard for you to receive what I'm saying. Because right now what you want is 2 + 2 = 4. And right now what I'm saying to you looks like 2 + 2 = 5. Like, hold up, explain to me even more how this works and what is it that I'm supposed to do. And so I'm going to leave you with this in my last, let's say 8 minutes, because I started, a little bit later, so I'm going to stay on, go to 8:05. I'm going to start by asking a couple simple questions and then conversing from there. If you look chronologically in the Bible, in the life of Jesus, let's say 0 to 33, because that's what you have, right? Born, dies at 33, resurrects at 33. Think about really what all you get in the Bible in particular. You get 0 to 12. Okay. 0 born in the manger. 3 wise men came to visit. No room in the inn. Spirit of God delivered this baby to Mary. She's with Joseph. And now he's born. We celebrate it now. It's called Christmas, even though that's a pagan holiday, but we celebrate the birth of Jesus. Then 12 years old, you hear about him going to the temple, parents going, them losing him for like 2 days, coming back to finding him letting them know that I've got to be about my father's business. He got chastised some because he was a child. Those are the parents, but then eventually they go back home. Then, boom, we get to where Jesus is 30 years old. And gets baptized, by John the Baptist, goes into the wilderness 40 days, 40 nights, comes out, ministry starts. And then you hear all these, we read, but imagine if you were alive during that time, then you hear all these great things. This man feeding more than 5,000 people. This man is bringing people back from the dead. This man is healing the blind. This man is healing the lame. This man is talking to people and telling them about themselves. And then he dies. And then he comes back. And then the disciples or whoever learn all of these different things, and then he ascends. Here's what I want to ask you. Is there anywhere in the Bible it talks about when Jesus went and took a pee? No. They don't capture that in the Bible, do they? They don't tell you when he went to the bathroom, right? They don't tell you if he vomited. They don't tell you if and when he got sick. They don't tell you if he got picked on as a kid. They don't tell you, oh yeah, he was a carpenter too. I left that out. They don't tell you if he picked on people when he was a kid. All you get is that bit of information. And what I'm saying is I think that one of the things that trips a lot of people up is because you get that small bit of information, right? And this is your religion and this is your faith. When things first start happening to you in life, you don't know what to do because you remember what strengthens your faith? The knowledge, right? So you don't have the knowledge of things that are going on, right? I'll ask you something that's a little bit more trivial and I'm not trying to, but it's kind of funny, but I'm really being honest here, right? If you grew up with both your parents, 2 parents, I grew up in a 2-parent household and then I also had my grandparents. Simply, this is gonna be funny, right? You know me, I go for broke all the time. Watch this. All those years I saw my parents together from time to time, right? I go somewhere with my mom, I go somewhere with my dad, but they were always together. I don't know when my parents had sex because they had to do something because I got a baby sister because that's how I came into the world, right? I mean, I knew when they went to the bathroom when they were at home because I was seeing them go, but I don't know when they had sex. I didn't know that there were times when they didn't want to be around each other and they were away from each other. Like I didn't know that. So as I get older, right, and I'm learning about relationships and learning how to be with people, obviously, that's when you start to learn. You're like, oh, you don't want to be around that person all the time. They can't fix everything. You're not going to always get along. We don't have to argue. We don't have to fight, but we're not always going to want to be around each other all the time. How do you learn that? You learn that in life. You remember, what feeds your faith? The knowledge. And what's the knowledge of? Lived experiences. Right? So just like religion comes to a point where it has to stop because it can't take you further on, then that's when faith in particular really comes in. Now, what ends up happening for a number of us as we get older is we either do one thing, we combine the faith and the religion, and we start basically just believing and kind of having faith in something and reciting what we learn in our religion, where some people also, they just go straight to faith at that point when they just realize, hey, it's going to work out. You have some people who are not religious folks, but who are heavy faith people. Like they have hope that this is going to work out because I've had enough experiences in my life that I know God is with me. See? And so that's why faith is important, because faith is the next thing that will help people get through life, is believing in something that you can't see. But because you've had experiences in your life where you couldn't see something and it still came through, now you're at another point in your life where something is not where you wanted to be, or you don't see it, but it's getting ready to come through. And now this is why I close on this, why I think people struggle with this. I think people struggle with this here again because you weren't taught the whole picture. What you do is, as you live life, you start to, you live the whole picture, but you aren't taught the whole picture. Okay, I'll say it again. You live the whole picture, but you aren't taught the whole picture. Right? Going back to the first time my car broke down. Think about the lessons that I learned. Generosity, patience, nothing is permanent, and learn not to judge a book by its cover. So when the car broke down the second time, what's the first thing that came to my mind? Don't lose my head, because nothing's permanent anyway. Right? The car broke down before, it's going to break down again. 2, don't judge a book by its cover, because you're probably going to get help from a different source that you didn't expect to get it from, just like you did the first time. And lo and behold, that's what happened. Be patient. Right? I had to be patient because things may not come when you wanted to come. And then recognize that generosity, that somebody's going to be generous. And so then that also means this, just like you may have expectations. The other great thing about faith, and this is where spirituality comes in, but I'm not going to go there yet, is when you turn it around on you. So it's like, that's when your spirituality kicks in. The thing that faith has taught you about other people, the thing that religion has taught you about life, now spirituality teaches you when you start to apply it to yourself. See, and then that's when your spirituality comes alive, because religion plus faith plus me equals spirituality. And now all three start working together. And I noticed that most of the wisdom bodies in this world walk in that consistently. And so whether you believe in Jesus or not, whether you believe in a religion or not, whether you believe in organized religion or not, at this point, it really doesn't matter. Because there are things in life that you will not be able to control. There are things in life that you will not be able to change. People in particular, right? But you can control some things. And the number one thing you can control usually, if you got all your faculties, is yourself. Control you. And when you start to recognize that nothing is permanent, I think those are like some major lessons right there. And if I thought about it some more, I could pull up scriptures, because I know that all of this stuff that I'm saying is in the Bible. What it means to be generous, what it means to be patient. Those are two fruit of the Spirit. There's 9 things in the fruit of the Spirit. Those are 2 right there. You know how to be generous, how to give, and how to be patient. And when you learn that nothing is permanent, so I don't walk expecting anything to last for the rest of my life. My life isn't even permanent, And then you learn how to judge a book by its cover. So when things come, you can keep your head. So if you get something new, guess what you learn if you get something new? That's something new, it can break down. When you get something old and you may not want to deal with it, what lesson could you probably get from that? That something old is going to outlast this something new. You see, so you start learning different lessons and applying it. So I hope that you got something out of this morning as like I said, we talked about religion for a couple of weeks. Now we're going into faith, and I wanted to walk you through my story and at least, how my faith started to really get strong, and then I can start to take you into more. So remember, if you have any questions, you can email me, Thomas R. Easley at EasleyBranch.com. You can hit me up on Facebook and Twitter. And Instagram, Rashad Ease is where you can find me. Facebook, you can find me there, Thomas Easley or Rashad Easley, Rashad. I hope you got something today. Hope you get ready to have a great Sunday. I'm looking forward to having a great time at Peace. If you want to come to Peace, 2810 Cates Avenue with the C, room 126, 11 o'clock. All right. Go have a good day. Make it a good one.